but getting the players into the building, April 2nd, that day just can't wait for it. Because they're the ones that bring that building to life. And it'll give us all a great lift, when that happens. So just really gearing up for that.
Joe mentioned last week that you talked to Justin after the Keenan situation. Just how did that conversation go? Obviously, they had quite a history there.
I've been talking to Justin every chance I get. Any reason I can, get the, call Justin, just check on how things are going on the ranch up in Oregon. I love hearing stories about that. Talking about cadence, putting in the schemes, offense and defense. I know, and Shane Days had multiple conversations. Justin's been in; he's gotten a few workouts in. I think that's hitting him really good. So, yeah, just that interaction. I just like hearing how his day's going.
With Keenan specifically, though, I'm sure he was disappointed, like you were, to lose Keenan.
Same conversation that we're having right now. It's like, yeah, this is the business side of the NFL. The NFL has a business side to it, and guys do it. They do what's best for them. They do what's best for your family, but do what's best for yourself professionally and personally, and everybody understands that. And a heck of a deal for Mike too. I mean, $15 million a year. That's good. That's really good.
I love Harbaugh. God, I love that. Good. I'm so glad he's in the league. I'm so glad.
What do you got on what he had to say?
I
could have listened to another 15 minutes.
I know. Just keep going. These things, like this breakfast, it feels like when you go to Disney and you go to the character breakfast, and you're there with your family, and they're like, oh, here comes Goofy, hey, let's take the pictures, and here's Pluto. Like, it has a feeling of they're all working the tables, and I just can't help myself looking at the journalists in the background with their giant plates of food trying to ask about the Chargers special teams. Like, it's so entertaining, and I said it from the minute that I hired him, it was the biggest win for the Chargers in years. And listen, we're talking off the air. Chris, like, as a wide receiver, it's kind of nuts what's going on with the Chargers roster and the Chargers offense. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, you look at their roster right now, I think they have 3 guys on the roster. 2 of them were rookies last year, and Joshua Palmer only going into his 4th year. So it's, I mean, you got to imagine they're going to try to add some weapons for Justin Herbert. I mean, Harbaugh is, I was with him back in 2011 when he came into the league with the 49ers, and he did some great things for Cap and that team. And I got to imagine that he's going to do some good things with Justin and that offense. So, but I mean, you got to add some more pieces to this puzzle to try to make that work. So it's going to be a lot of new faces, but I got to imagine he's going to do a good job out there.
Take us through this with Harbaugh when he first came in. Like, what is that first team meeting? Like he just mentioned, April 2nd, getting the guys in the building, different personality. What was that like from a player's perspective?
I mean, it was a lot for me, right? That was my first year, so But a lot of those guys respond. I mean, that 49ers team was filled with veteran guys. I mean, he's got some high expectations. He runs it like a very tight ship, straight from college, kind of takes that whole mentality over to the pros. And I think it either works or it doesn't work. And when he brought it to the 49ers, it worked, right? Guys bought into it. They were into it. He's going to coach. I mean, he's going to coach him up, and he's going to do some good things with Justin. So I think Justin's going to really benefit from having him, coaching him, on the football side of things. Not that he hasn't done well in his career, but I mean, I think that having him there, I think it might take him to another level.
Now, as a wide receiver, because you just said it, you look at this room, and they got rid of Mike Williams. They got rid of Keenan Allen. When Brady was in New England, a lot of people would always say, all right, they don't keep and they don't pay the big-time receivers, but they get guys that can get open. Was it ever for you in that wide receiver room, like, hey, we took pride in the fact that we didn't have the biggest names or the biggest contracts, but we go out there with a really good quarterback and get it done? You think that mindset could possibly translate to these guys in that room
100%.
in L.A.?
I mean, every single year you have that meeting. It's like, what's this receiver room going to be at? We didn't have the big name guys. We had Rob in the other room. We had Brady. We had we had the names. We had James White. But our room was just built off of, listen, we're going to go out every single play. It's going to be 100%. We're going to, we're going to block. We're going to be annoying. We're going to be in your face, and we're just going to make plays when it comes to us. Get open, catch the football. There aren't any of these big names on this roster right now. They could, add someone in the draft, but I think that mentality. I mean, I think Harbaugh's going to love that mentality, right? I mean, he's all about that. So I think that's going to be something that he's going to try to bring to that room. And if he can create a group of guys in that room that just want to play together, win football games, and compete, then Justin Herbert's going to have a good group of guys to play ball too.
It's going to be fun to watch.
You brought up not a lot of big names, and I was just curious your thoughts on, is Gus Edwards underrated? I mean, he had 13 rushing touchdowns a year ago, and it's so much like Herbert every year, right? I mean, obviously he's the quarterback, right? But there's so much pressure on him in terms of Harbaugh taking some pressure off this guy, because every year it feels like we're like, this is Herbert's year, right? Sure. This is it. This is it. And then it's sort of the same letdown. Now this is a different scenario, right? When you're bringing in Jim Harbaugh, you're bringing him after he won a national championship. But I'm just wondering if I don't feel like Edwards gets talked about a lot or enough.
No, he's a really good player. And what's interesting is that, Jason knows this, my take from the second Harbaugh took the job is that Blake Corum is going to be on the Chargers. I just have a feeling this is the Michigan running back who's prolific, super strong. It's sort of similar running style to Gus Edwards, but I don't care. If you look what Jim Harbaugh did all the way back at Stanford, if you look what he just did at Michigan, if you look what he was doing with Gore in San Francisco, like, he loves to run it. And we love Herbert there, but I think there will be a couple running backs. I think he will find a way to have Blake Corum on the team. I think what he's done with the team is like it's reflective of Harbaugh. All the moves, like you show up and like a pillar of the Chargers, Keenan Allen, just gone. Just gone. All the tight end, the other receiver, just gone. It's different. It's a little scary, and it'll probably work, which is how I would describe Jim Harbaugh. It's different. It's a little scary. And it'll probably work. I think the schedule is going to come out, sometime in the offseason moving forward. The first thing I'm circling every single game, I'm not interested in any kind of Super Bowl rematch or anything. First Chargers-Chiefs game I'm just into. Like, unbelievable.
Yes.
Let's light the candle, ring the bell. Harbaugh versus Reed, Herbert versus Mahomes. Like, this is the one. And I feel like if Harbaugh wins that game, that's going to be the table-flipping moment about, like, the AFC West is not the same anymore. Or if the Chiefs roll them up. I don't know. But there's not a regular season matchup I'm more excited about than the first Chargers-Chiefs. And I think Blake Corum from Michigan will be wearing a Chargers uniform when they play that game.
I like that. And I'm fascinated by Harbaugh and Justin Herbert's relationship. And he said it. I just like talking to Justin and asking him how his day's going. And building that is so cool. And it's so Jim Harbaugh. But what we've seen from Justin Herbert so far was him throwing the ball all around the field. We know when Harbaugh comes in there, it's not possibly going to be that. Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. But I remember when Dave Canales got hired with the Panthers, and he came on our show, and we talked to him. He talked about Bryce Young. I know, completely different player than Justin Herbert, but just his thought on the quarterback position. And he said, I want a quarterback that's going to play consistent, play in and play out, and have 3 to 5 plays a game where he is just absolutely special. And if I'm Jim Harbaugh, he's probably going to ask the same thing of Justin Herbert. We maybe don't need you to make these crazy throws all over the field. And I see the memes that are all over social media of Herbert standing in a room like Will Smith was on Fresh Prince, and the room's completely empty as Eckler's gone, Allen's gone, Mike Williams is gone. But I think he's looking at it like, I don't need those guys to run my offense. When he was with the 49ers, they had one maybe go-to receiver and a guy like Crabtree, and the rest of it was guys that fill in the blanks. And you throw the ball to him and run the ball behind Frank Gore and that offense. He mentioned Shane Day, the quarterback's coach, who was with Herbert back in 21 when he threw for the 5,000 yards and went to the Pro Bowl and all of that. He was with the Houston Texans last year with C.J. Stroud having a great rookie year. He's back with the Chargers, and Herbert said that's one of his all-time favorite coaches. So I think when you talk about the transition and Greg Roman coming in, and people are scared because it's like, well, he had Lamar Jackson, Colin Kaepernick, Justin Herbert's not that guy. To your point, Harbaugh is going to figure this thing out, figure this offense when it comes to the draft and all of that. But I'm still fascinated to see what this offense looks like, because Herbert has broken record after record. That's not really the way Harbaugh does it. And we saw the receivers leave. I can't wait to see. You're talking about the Chiefs game. I just can't wait to see this offense operate and see what it's going to look like.